Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As stated in my previous video, I said that I would be starting a craft with me, um, eh, I guess tutorial of somewhat. I like to call it a craft with me because I don't think I'm that great at doing tutorials, but I'm going to do a project share basically of a little Valentine matching journal in a file folder holder. I've done a series that was quite complex on my file desk sets, which are file folders and pockets, and then a folio fold out. So this is much simpler. This is going to be a simple, fun project to do together for Valentine's Day. And I found these great vintage Valentine images and these little postcards on Graphics Fairy. Before we're done, I probably will end up going to a couple other sites just to see if I can find any. But look at these little vintage Valentines. Aren't they cute? So we're going to utilize these somewhere in here. And I did find all of these on the Graphics Fairy. But you can go online and find vintage Valentines freebies on there, and I subscribe to their channel, so subscribe. I have a subscription, I should say, so I can get their graphics, off of there, and it's a monthly price, but I just wanted to show you these cute images. Here's some that will be made into envelopes. I've picked out some papers that we'll use in the journal, and we're going to go through that so you can see how I go about picking out my papers. And basically, these are the ones that we're going to cover our journal and our file folder. In this little journal we're going to make, we'll either make pockets here, or this is just the other part of the file folder where I cut it. And we're going to cover this, and I folded this up here to make a pocket, and we'll probably make some more pockets. So you're kind of just going, I'm just creating this while you guys are watching, so who knows how it's going to come out, but these, that's my intention. And I'll probably take this to the machine and sew around it. But these are the papers that I chose, and these all came out of a Martha Stewart stack. And hold on, let me see if I have the cover of that photo. And I actually had this. I've had this paper for several years. And oh, here it is. Here's the paper stack. And I don't know if she even makes this anymore, but you can see all these neat different papers. But I pulled out the darker colors because there's some white pages in here and stuff, and I'm not coffee dyeing these. The papers we'll put inside the little journal have been tea dyed, and I'll show you those after. So I pulled out these three, and these are double-sided, but because these graphics that I pulled out are on the more red side and less pink, I'm going to go with the ones that have more of the red. There is some kind of pink tones in here as well, but it's more or less the reds. So we'll stay along that color tone. And so this one, so I'll probably use this side of this one somewhere. And there's this one, which I thought was cool. They're little typewriter keys. And here's the back side, was just a graph paper. And if we use that side on anything, I'll distress the heck out of it to make it look you know, real vintagey and dark. And then this one, which has got the brown tone, you know, it's got more of a browner tone to it, and not this side. Whew, that's bright. That's bright right there. Kind of makes me dizzy looking at it. Okay, so what I did is I cut the file folder, and then I took a little tiny bit off of the edge here. Is this the other half? Yeah, I think this is the other half. I took a little piece out of it. So this ends up being, you know, you can do any size you want. Cut it right in half even. Here. See, this one I could cut this one right in half. But we're going to make the journal out of the offcut. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to cover this front with some of this cardstock, and that'll make this nice and nice. Let me go here. I'll tell you how wide it is. This comes to about a little over 7.5. So I'm going to sit down, and I'm hoping to stay in frame, guys, through this whole thing. I know I hope the lighting's good. Okay. I've got my paper cutter on my desk. This one, it's not the best, but we'll see if it'll work for me today. This is just my portable one. And to pick the paper we want on the front, and then the paper we want on this journal. Now this journal, what I did is I just made a little spine, because these actually have, these are from the Dollar Tree. I don't know if you can see that. They actually have these little ridges in them, little folds. So you can fold it there or fold it here. And that's basically just so if you're putting papers in here, then you've got more room. So I'm utilizing those pre-scored lines, and I'm only going to make the journal this thick so it can slide in here pretty easy. Okay, so it's just going to be a little teeny tiny journal. So this is just a fun project. And let me see. We're going to cut down some of this. So we'll figure that out in a minute. So to choose the paper to go on the top of this, I think I want this paper, and I only have one sheet of this, so I'm going to be careful when I cut it. I think this will go on the outside of the journal, and I'm going to use this paper, I think, for the top of the file folder. Okay, so how to cut this down? I want it on the front, right here. So I want it here, but I want it to go up on that little, you know, file bridge part there, the tab. I guess you call it the tab. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to draw it, you know, trace it, I should say, trace the outside. So that's, I have that over a little bit, and that's good because we're going to sew around this, and I'll ink this before I glue it. So let me get a pen so I can make sure I can see. And we'll see how this, I'll probably have to come down here and take a little off of the bottom, just so we have just a little frame right around it. Okay. I'll make sure that this, so we'll just do it this way. And hope it all lines up. Because we've got this little, I mean, I could cut this straight off, but I like the ridge. And if you haven't seen my file folder, hold on, I've got one that's not been decorated. This one, this is a full file folder. It's loaded down with goodies. See, so I like the way this kind of comes up there. And here's one that is ready to be decorated with whatever. This one was done in lilies and fairies and orchids. So then there's a whole matching journal. And so if you haven't seen that, I hope you can hear me when I walk away. If you haven't seen that, that tutorial, well, Craft With Me series, it's back. It's back in the, back there somewhere. It's been a couple months, or maybe a month or so since I did that one. All right, let's line this up. I cut a little bit more off than I wanted, but that's okay. And I don't cut very straight, so I'm going to try to do this. Line it up and do it. See if I can get a good cut there. And this part I think I'll just do with the scissors. Okay, so that's good. So I have these two pieces. I'll put that aside. Let me bring this back and see how it, whoops, that's right. All right, let me cut this. Let me sit back down. Okay. See if I cut right around this little ridge. And there we go. And then there's this, I'll use my little scissors. And then there's this little ridge here over here. So let me do that. Okay. Now what I did here is I want to make a pocket, and I didn't want this to be so long. So I just simply folded this up. So we're going to have too much. So I'll take off that little part at the bottom. I kind of forgot about that. Yeah, that's going to line up good. And when I ink this, you'll see it better. So this, let me just measure this little fold here. This is 1.5. So let me take off 1.5 inches off the bottom here. I hope I'm staying in frame, guys, because here we go, 1.5 inches. Because I can't see great. I can see a little bit, but I have an okay setup. The most important thing is that it's not all blurry. Okay, so this will go here, and this will go here. Actually, I want to take a little bit more. I want to get a little bit more off of this. This is still, it's a tad bit too, just a teeny tad bit too wide. Okay, there we go. I have this habit of taking this off because I lay this on its side underneath, and it doesn't stay on my desk, and this always, of course, falls off. So then I have to go hunt for it. I really need to get another, let's get some vintage photo. I think I might pull out some red as while we're here as well. If I have, probably, these are just my little ones I keep on my desk. I don't have room for my big ones. They're across the room. Probably fired brick. Let me get a little paper out. let me see. To ink on. Could pull a craft sheet out, but okay, I think, let me just check this color. This has a little, let me see. You know, guys, if you don't know this, these have room to store little ink pads in the bottom. I'm just checking to see if I have any under here, because I'm running out of, here's one. See, that's Victorian lipstick. See how those fit right in there? If you haven't seen these little tins, you can get these to fit these little distress inks. And right in the bottom, you can put your little ink pads. They're made that way, but I don't have any. I don't know if I'm gonna like that one. It looks a little bit pinker. Let's try Barn Door, which looks like it might have a little bit more red in it, or brown. You know, reds sometimes, some are pinker than others. Yeah, I think I'm going to like, I think I'm gonna like that better. Though when you look at them, it looks like the Fired Brick. Yeah, I'm mixing my inks up. I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with the Barn Door. Yeah, we'll go with the Barn Door red. All right, let me go ahead and do some vintage photo around the edges. I just totally mixed my inks up, but that's okay. That's all right. I'm just not great at changing my ink pads. I'll do it if it's completely, you know, like a pink and a blue or something like that, or a pale pink, and I don't want any of, you know, but we're aging this, so this is fine. Okay. Then we'll go up here and I'll figure out what we want to, if we want to, you know, put a little paper up there as well, or just leave it, the file, you know, just ink it. Oh, I'm sorry guys, I feel like I'm getting out of frame here. Oops, you know what, I need it bigger. Oh, let me get, I'm just gonna pull out my graph sheet. I'm trying not to totally ruin this. I've got more stuff on this. I've got acrylic inks, I've got gesso, I've got Copic markers on it, and you know, it's not. I'll do this piece while it's here. Let's go all the way around. I can come back later and, you know, ink some more. Let's do this. I'm just doing this in the distress. You know, I could come right in and round these corners, but then I'm gonna have to round. We'll just leave it like that. But I just think it might be more aesthetically pleasing to have these corners rounded. Let me think. Yeah, I'll leave it. I'll leave it. Here, I didn't get that up there good. Didn't finish this either. So I'm going to take this after and sew it, but we'll get the covers done, and then we'll go over the papers that we're going to put in the little journal. Because this doesn't need to be a long, complex video. It's just going to be just crafting together and chatting. Okay, let me find my glue. Glue, glue, glue. Okay. Pull this one out and this one. This is not this is not Cosmic Shimmer in here because I ran out. I actually put Eileen's Tacky Glue in there. And this glue in here is art glitter, I believe. And I filled it, yeah, right here, art glitter adhesive. And I filled these things so I can just get a tiny bit if I'm just doing little embellishing. And okay, get back up. Every time I get up, I feel like I have to readjust my camera. Okay, let's glue these down. Okay. So last year I don't think I made anything, any Valentine's Day, anything. Nothing. I'm trying to think why. I think I was just doing a whole bunch of my heirloom journals. This is slightly clogged. And those are very time consuming because I do the rounded spines and they're built, and I really take a lot of time to construct those journals. So I think I was in the middle of doing a couple of those. And so I didn't stop to make any Valentine's Day cards. So I was kind of inspired by watching everybody's posts. We probably don't need a ton of glue, but all right, let's line this up. Probably the best thing to do is just to hold that down. And the nice thing about Eileen's is you do get a minute. Whoops, it's not quite. You do get a minute, you know, if you're not really completely lined up. You can usually have enough time to adjust your papers. When I make cards, I use a lot of score tape. I don't know if you guys know what that is. I really like using score tape. Okay, there's that. Let's put this piece on. Should leave my glue upside down. I do with my tacky glue, but whoops, a little glue there. All right, make sure my little typewriter, keys are going the right way and not upside down. Oh, the goofs I make. Sewing signatures in upside down, gluing papers upside down, putting an envelope in the wrong way so you can't get in it. Y'all feel my pain at all? Any of you paper crafters out there? Okay, what do we want to do up here? I'm thinking, I don't know if I think we'll do this part up here. And I'm not even going to, I'll flip it over. Wait, no I won't. I'll just do it this way. I'm making myself too much work. I just want to make sure it's here. I want to, okay, right there. Just trace around this. Actually, I'm going to use a pencil because I can see on this light side. Land frame. Yep. Okay. There we go. I'm just going to cut this out. and hope I can cut it in a nice straight line. So it matches up. Okay, I've got a little bit of pencil on here. Let me erase that off. Let me make sure it fits, and then we'll ink it and we'll put it in there. We don't, see, I didn't go all the way. We didn't need a full sheet because this is already so heavy duty that, you know, I think this will be a fun little project. Actually, I don't need to ink down that far, but okay, and we'll glue this right in there. It's good. That looks good. So that's the extent of my Valentine's Day cardstock. I have very little of it. I do have another little paper pad over there. Well, but it's all real pinks, and I wanted to do something a little bit more of the vintage. Like, these kind of remind me, I think, of the 40s and the 50s of what I've seen. I mean, I wasn't alive then, but they are, from what I've seen, they look like those old. Okay, so this is going to be the cute little cover, and we'll have a tuck in here, and I may do another little tuck there. I don't know. I just think that's cute. So there you go there. Now let's pull out, let me move this so we have room. I have room, I should say, to work on my desk. Put that away. I didn't need the reds yet. I will need the red in a little bit. Let me move some things around. Just organize myself a bit. All right, now let me find, this is going to be the little journal cover. And to figure out how, I just made, like I showed you, I made use of the score lines that were in there. There's actually 3 score lines, but I'm just going to do this, and this is going to be, it looks like maybe a little less than 1/2 of an inch. Whoops. Yeah, it's just under 1/2 of an inch. So that'll be cute. That'll fit in there. You don't even have to do that. You can just, well, I just want a little spine. Okay, now for the size, probably, I'm just gonna go ahead and take some off of this. And then I want to fold these back and maybe make little pockets on the inside. Okay, so this is going to, we'll make it to be 6. Let me see. We don't want it that big. I'll cut it down to 6. So the width is, might help if I was up here. The width is 4 3/4, so, you know, I'm not doing traveler's notebook sizing or anything like this. This is just fun, you know. So if I cut it at 6 and then I bring it in, I don't want it too chunky. You know what, I'm just going to cut it down to 7, and then we'll fold these in and make some cute little pockets on the inside or the outside. Okay. I want it to be even. Let's do it this way. What am I doing? Might help if I cut the right way. So I'll line up my spine at 7. There's probably a much easier way to do this, but this is the way my brain is flowing right now. So I've got these little pieces. We might use these for little tags. I'll make little hang tags with those. I did a little tutorial making hang tags out of paper scraps, but this is a nice weight. So, all right, now to figure out how much I want to fold it in, maybe just an inch. So it'll be 6 inches. So this is 7. Let's fold in, no, we want to fold in more than that. Make a journal that's about 5.5. So we'll fold in about 1.5 inches. So I'm just going to make a little mark at 1.5 inches here. And we could go and score it. You know, I am going to score it. I am. That way it doesn't crack as easy. Okay, I like to use a stylus. These are great for making papers and stuff, and as opposed to a bone folder. That one's got glue all over it. When I score, I just think it gives a better score. So 1.5 inches. Here, guys, I'm going to try to turn this where you can see me score. This is a Martha Stewart scoreboard. Here's 1.5 inches. And I think we'll do the same thing on the other side, 1.5 inches. Wait, is that 1.5 inches? Yeah. Okay, so we've got that. Put this down. So that's going to be the inside. We'll have a couple of little tucks there. Actually, it probably would have been smarter for me to, no, I was going to say cover the outside first, but no, because I like to have a little frame around. So let's go ahead and ink this. And then we'll cut our papers to size. Right, that cute little spine. I'll cut a little piece of paper for that. So I want to ink the inside and the outside. I'll probably come back and ink a little bit better, guys, when, you know, we're not on camera, just because it is time consuming, and I don't mind watching other people ink, but it could be pretty boring, I think, if, you know, to watch. I'm not too concerned of how neat the inking is, simply because it's the paper will cover most of it, so we're just gonna get a nice edge just to distress it and make it look old. I don't know why I did the inside of that. That's not gonna show. Hope I'm staying in frame, guys. Okay, so there we go. It's gonna be, and with this nice heavyweight cardstock, this will give this journal cover a bit more, you know, a bit more, you know, be a little bit sturdier. Okay, so we have 5.5. Well, it's not really. See, I'm not a big fan of this ruler. I want to get the clear Tim Holtz ruler. This is my cute little ruler. I like this. This is easier for me. So I'm going to cut this about a little under 5.5 and by a little over 4.5. So let's do that. Now, which way do I want this? Okay, let's see. Now I want this, do I want it to go this way? Yes. Let's, you know, I should have just marked it. Let me just mark it. That way we get a better. Just do it. Whoops. Oh, I dropped my pencil. So I'll grab my pen. We want it to go this way. So, yeah, this is so scientific the way I'm doing this. This has a little bit of a ridge at the top. I think I'm going to take that off. See where it was, I ripped it out of the paper pad, and that's going to bother me. So I'm just going to take a little bit off. That kind of stuff bugs me. I don't know why. It just does. So this will be the front. So let's just mark it. You know, if I was great at measuring, I wouldn't be doing this way. Okay, so right about there. And then right about there. So we'll come in a little bit smaller. And I'm going to need two, because we're going to need the front and the back. So let's do one first. See if I'm trying to stay in frame. Okay, now where's my mark? There it is. There it is. Okay, there that way. And then this piece here. So this will be for the front, and then we'll do another one the same size. Let me make sure this fits. No, that's I gotta take a little bit more off. The width is good, but the length is not quite right. I'm gonna take it off. I'm gonna take it off of this side. There again, I know this is just the way my brain is rolling today. There. That's good. And we'll do the same thing here. I'm just going to line this right up. And line her up. There we go. Make sure that okay, there we go. Then I have this piece. We'll use that somewhere. We're gonna need to do the tabs, but we'll move that aside and make sure we're good. Okay, there's that. And let me just make sure. Okay. That's pretty good. And then this will be the back. Do I want this piece in the back or the front? Okay, let's ink these. I could have rounded the corners of this little journal, but we're gonna make it simple. make yours, you can do it any way you like. If you want to round the corners, if you want to make a little die cut design. Okay. I don't edit. I probably need to look into getting some editing software. So basically you guys are just, you're watching it as it goes, you know. So I could speed it up and, okay, do I want that one on the front or this one on the front? I don't know, for some reason I like this one for the front. And I think I'm going to put a little, is this the red ink I chose? Nope, we said we wanted barn door. I'm going to do a little of the red. Ooh, that's a little bright. Ooh, I didn't want it that bright. You know what? Let me take a little of that off. That's too much for me. I've got the little baby white. I can get a little bit of it off. Too much. It took off a little bit. Too much, too much. I only wanted a little bit. Man, that's a juicy ink pad right there. I don't think I've used that one much at all. Which is so weird that these didn't dry up because they were in storage for a while a couple years ago when I moved. And they didn't. They stayed nice. And I haven't re-inked that, so obviously I've not used that color. Or I've used the big one. I have the full size over there. Okay, you know what? I want to get rid of a little bit of this red. So I'm just going to stamp off. And I just want a little bit more of this vintage photo just to age it a little bit. I'm going to put it down like this. And while I'm looking at it, I think I'm going to come right in here. I'm going to come right on in. There we go. So that's the back, and this is going to be the front. And now it's a little damp because I took the little baby wipe to it. So this is what I'm going to do. Sorry guys, I just don't want to glue it wet. Okay, so I'm coming in to just to stress it. And vintage, what do I always say? Vintagify it. Okay. There, I may come in later and do a little bit more. Whoops, let me get rid of that. Okay, how much longer? Let's get this on because I want to go over the papers for the inside of this journal. And then we'll come back and do a part 2. It might be a 3-parter, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, because I will sew these off camera. Okay, so here we go. Looks a little narrow, but that's okay. See, there's that wet part there. I'll come in here and do some red and other color right in there. Or we might do a piece of, if you cut your paper a little short, there's trims, because we will trim this out with something. There's always trims, okay? So make sure my cardstock's going the right way, and it is, so let's get this piece on. And I don't have to do it because I'm going to sew it, so I don't have to put a tremendous amount of glue around the edges or anything. I'll just get some in there. Slide that on. This one actually fit a little bit better. Should have put this one on the front, but okay. I like to use a brayer. This one's full of glue just to get my papers good and adhered. This one's wrinkling a little bit, but that's okay. That was from the baby wipe. Okay, so here's the front, and we're gonna pick a paper for the inside, but I'll cut that off camera. Which paper do we want? We have, I wish I had some, this I might save for pockets. It's not quite big enough anyways. This is the offcut. We could do the same one on the inside, or I have this, which is really cute, but I could do this part. Let me see. Let me see how that'll look when you open it up. Yeah, I might do this one. So I might cut this one down, but I'll have to do some good, a fair amount of inking. Now let's talk about our papers. So this will be the cover. I'll come back and I'll cut a little piece for here. And then we'll do something on the inside as well, just so we have a nice sturdy spine. And then with my scraps, I will do these inside flaps for the pocket. So we'll do that after. Let me put that aside. Oh, I also had these. These were where I had used these. So these are cute. I might use these with the airplanes. Now the papers for the inside, I also wanted to show you something else before we leave for the day. I have, this was on Graphics Fairy's site, which aren't these the cutest little images? And I think I might fussy cut these and use them as page embellishments. Aren't they cute? Look at all of them. So I have that, and here's my papers I pulled out. I've got some tea-dyed, and these are pretty dark. See, so I thought that would go well because they came out super dark. So these are tea-dyed, so I have several pieces of those. So I don't know how many I will put in there. I also pulled out this craft bag here that I thought would be cute in there, and we'll fold this and sew it in. I also have this little music bag that I made out of vellum that's dyed on, and I have a video, a project share, a little tutorial on printing on vellum and making envelopes and bags and your own little glassine type bags and envelopes and pockets out of printed vellum. So we have that. I pulled out this tissue paper because I thought it would go, it's got kind of like the doily look, and I think I might make, we'll double it and we'll make a pocket out of that to slide in things. Then I have this French dictionary, well, it's like a little golden book kind of in French, a little French children's book, I should say. This book, here's the cover, that I'm going to make a journal out of this cover because I think it's super cute. This book is 1949. So I thought I'd pull out 1 or 2 pages out of this. I thought this would be cute in the Valentine's Day book. So we'll have a couple of book pages in there. And then I printed off this paper on my parchment. Let me show you. This parchment paper, specialty paper, and you can see through that. And see that's got such a nice texture and feel, and it inks up beautifully, and it looks aged really nicely with distressed inks. Okay, so I have this one. It's got little Valentine in it. And this one, I probably won't use this one now. I'm looking at it. It's got too much pink in it. This one was my favorite. Look how cute this is. Little hearts. And this is a polka dot in the light blues. I also have, this is a vintage graph paper that I have in my stash. I'm running out of that. I only got one little thing of it at the thrift store. And then this old looking, this is French love letters right here. So I have these. So those are going to go in there. And then I probably will want to put, sorry while I go across the room, I probably want to pull out something. I want to show you these, and then I'll let you go, and we'll do part 2. This is all of my vintage, well, and antique. There's antique magazines in here. Here's the music ones at the front. Okay, I want to go down to St. Nicholas's. This is a magazine. It's called St. Nicholas. And these, there was a Valentine's Day one in here. Look at this, July 1917. And I've had these for a long time. I bought them off of eBay like 5 or 6 years ago. Look at these great images. I'm in love with this. And I actually I have quite a few of them. I won't scan it. I'll use the real one, the real paper in there. There's some book pages. These are scanned pages from, here it is. This is the one I was looking for. Look how cute that is. February 1916. I will scan this cover. I'll scan the cover, but I probably will find a book page out of this to add in there. Look at these books, these magazines, and they have and they aren't crumbling. They have a real nice feel. They're very thick book pages, so I'm thrilled of having, you can see some that I've torn, and see, some of these I will scan. And some of them I'll just go right in and use. I hope I'm not too close. Look at that beautiful image. Because this is such an old copyright, I can scan these and I can, put them into my designs. The copyright laws, I think, have passed, long passed. Look at these images. Is that the coolest? How cool. So I wanted to show you that. So I will pull from this book. And that's it for today, guys. So I hope you enjoyed the craft with me and my fumbling and with my measuring and all that. But you're watching me work. That's the way I roll. Okay, have a great one, and I'll be back for part 2 soon. Okay, have a blessed evening. Bye-bye.